We're live. We should be live. Let us know if there's any audio issues or any tech issues. This mic isn't completely stand. We're in a new studio. If you're watching and not just listening on the podcast feed, it's the same studio, but it's just been redone a bit, and it looks nicer now.
More comfortable too.
Yeah, couple big chairs, table in front of us, some plants. Look at that, ferns, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up or something in the chat if you could hear us.
I wish there's nothing a big guy loves more than a big chair. I can straight man spread in this bitch.
Yeah,
Boom.
Yeah. A lot of leg room.
Very cozy.
The old table we had in here was also just falling apart for as long as we had it in here. It was slowly but surely going. No Jack Mack is right. Unfortunately, this is kind of a last minute show. We put it together last minute. So Jack Mack will be back next week or whenever we do another show. But for this one, he's doing unnecessary roughness stuff and coming to the office and whatnot.
You know, listen, he's got to say, well, yeah, we'll be back. Obviously, we'll talk about, I guess still got a little bit unpack.
Totally.
Kind of final unpacking of
UFC 282. Look at the chat already. They want us to talk about the Paddy fight. Let's start there. Let's start with Paddy versus Jared Gordon, UFC 282. It was a great event. Me, Dave, and Dan got to go. It was a packed day for us.
You guys had a hell of a 36 hours.
Yeah. It was
actually really 24.
Rough and rowdy in Providence to Army Navy to UFC 282. We arrived a little after the Billy Q fight. I want to say we arrived during the
So you got there like
Shabazian
prelims.
Fight.
Yeah, prelims.
Yeah. So we got to see most of the card. It was a great card. Obviously 10 straight finishes leading up to the Paddy fight. And then the fight of the night happened. Paddy versus Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
As everyone was tweeting, oh my God, the fight of the night clip.
But
we'll get into Gaethje and all that. We'll get into that as well. The fight itself, way closer than we could have wanted it to be, I would say.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I felt the anxiety in the arena. Like after round one, Max was coming up to me with the camera after every round. What do you think? I was like, a little bit closer than I wanted it to be. After round two, I said a little bit closer than I wanted it to be. And after round three, I was like, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's about to happen with the judges. Didn't know what they were going to say. And then they give it to Paddy unanimously, and the internet is set ablaze. Ariel Helwani calls it the worst decision in MMA history. We've got fighters, cornermen, fans tweeting about it. Paddy goes on the mic. He says it wasn't even close. Fight of the night. He gets even more people hopping on him after that, right? So it's been a crazy week of being a Paddy rider on Twitter. But I'm still a Paddy rider, ladies and gentlemen. And if you tuned into this show to hear me say, yeah, Jared Gordon won the fight, you're not going to hear it.
No, Paddy through and through. I think I was the most worried. It's been weird to digest. I can't imagine what it was being in the building, just being home. And so I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been I feel like I've been sick for
We're
a
all
month.
sick, yeah.
But it was hard to adjust because the first round, I'll be honest, that Jared Gordon left hook was landing quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very ooh, I don't like that. And then even at the point by probably not too far into the first round, you could literally hear his corner yelling, "Put your hands up."
Yeah.
Because it was Paddy. He definitely keeps his chin up. He's very confident.
And he's got a great chin.
He does. No, he
but
does.
We don't want him to get tested.
No.
Gordon
landed it quite a few times, especially in the first round. I would say the most. And he never really rocked him, but he caught him quite a bit with it. That was concerning. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few things. People saying the worst robbery in history. I feel like that's been said 9 times this year at least.
That's crazy.
Because this is how I'd say people are acting listen. When I went to the judges' scorecards, I was I have no idea.
Oh, I was terrified. Yeah,
I was I have no idea what's gonna happen right now. But also, I feel like people are acting as if Jared Gordon beat the brakes off him,
and he didn't. It was such a close fight where nothing happened in the third round.
Yeah, there were, and I think what people it's weird because the third round, obviously, Jared Gordon definitely had the control, but he did nothing with it, and we've seen that type of activity is so up in the air for judges now.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the scorecards. I want to say 2 or at least, or maybe even 3 gave Gordon the third round.
Yes.
So that's I
think 2 of them did.
Yeah, I knew at least 2. I know like that's always the thing that can be wishy-washy with judges because like some people see the control time as significant. Some see it as kind of like literally nothing if you don't do any damage, which he really didn't in the 3rd round.
He threw 4 punches.
Yes, that exactly.
You
like,
know,
he
Paddy
really
landed
didn't do anything.
6, I think, and Jared threw 4. He had the control, pushed him up against the fence, did nothing with it, like you said, Ev. But also, Paddy ended the round on his back.
Yes.
With a good position and everything like that. So I do think if you're scoring it 29-28 for Paddy, it's 2 and 3. Paddy ended both 2 and 3 well.
So I think the problem that a lot of people had, which this part I can understand a little bit at least, is that 2 and 3 judges gave Paddy the first round.
That's something
which
that a lot of people
I did not expect him to get the first rounds.
Neither did I.
So that and that's kind of where I think like Dana kind of made the 3rd round comment about Jared, which on this in the post presser.
Yep.
Which obviously if you watch Dana, if you watch UFC for a while, everyone knows he hates when people like kind of like coast in the 3rd round, if you will. He does not like that. He likes people to go for finishes, go after it. He likes people that are always trying to finish the fighter, pretty much his like exact verbiage. It was a weird fight. Like I definitely, like I said,
it was a weird fight. The
just
3rd round was so strange.
It was just strange. Honestly, the whole fight was strange because there was just so many like different things happening. Like it was just tough to score. That's why I think it's honestly when it was, I was almost basically expecting a split.
Yeah,
I'll admit when
I was
when it was unanimous, I was even more scared.
So was I.
In that split moment where he says by unanimous decision, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, but I got to give Bruce credit. He didn't leave us hanging. Sometimes he'll leave you hanging for a second. He went right to like Paddy.
I noticed what I've been noticing. I think he does quite a bit is he will look at the guy who lost and then go like this.
Oh really?
I feel like I've noticed that more. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's got like a tell,
especially in those like closer fights where like you really don't know. I feel like a lot of times he will give a little like one of these and be like kind of like be right behind Gordon, then like almost point at Gordon with the card hand.
Yeah.
When he holds the card, and then just flip it back.
So off of this comes a bunch of stuff. The Justin Gaethje thing I think is worth bringing up first.
Yeah.
In that Justin Gaethje quote tweets a video of Dave and Dan meeting up with Paddy after the fight as he's walking to the back. And he goes, Dana, fight to the night. And Dana goes, have you been watching tonight? He's like, absolutely not, dude. What are you talking about? Easily, at that point, the worst fight of the night.
Yeah.
All due respect to Paddy. It was 10 straight
finishes.
There
were a ton of finishes.
Of course.
Ton of great, even like Billy Q has the great comeback. Like a lot of great
comeback.
Yeah, Ponzinibbio, insane comeback.
Yeah, so there's like all these great finishes, right? And Dave and Dan realize this in the moment, and they're laughing. You could see in the video the grin Big Head has as he turns around. He goes, fight of the night, Dana. You heard him, fight of the night. Justin Gaethje, this guy, oh my God, this guy with 2 brain cells in his head, quote tweets this and says, this is such a bad look for the Barstool guys. They're on their knees for Paddy. They're just sucking him off. What a bad look for the sport. 50K. He doesn't need 50K. Justin Gaethje talking about a bad look after going to Kadirov's son's birthday party, shooting Kadirov's bazookas, throwing Kadirov's grenades at Kadirov's house, at his facility, and then saying, no, I didn't go over to Kadirov. I was just there for a kid's birthday party. Who was the kid? Kadirov Jr. That was the kid. And him coming at us a month after he does all of this and saying it's a bad look was one of the dumber moves he ever could have made, because I think we brought more attention to him going over to Kadyrov than he ever wanted getting brought to it.
That part is definitely true. Dave bringing it to light. I mean, Dave obviously does have a massive following. So.
Gaethje hasn't tweeted since then, by the way. He's gone 0 dark 30 on Twitter.
Yeah, and there's always some. Listen, like I will say this before anything. I will ride with Dave Portnoy until literally the day I die. That man, as far as I'm concerned, literally picked me up off the street and gave me a life I could have never imagined. So I'll be with, like, good or bad, I'm with Dave forever. These parts always trouble me a little bit because I'm like, fuck, like I love Gaethje.
I loved him.
I love Justin Gaethje, but I'm like, fuck. Like,
I would have never brought this up if he didn't come after us.
Like 100%, and that's why I'm like, but listen, it's Dave or I'm with Dave forever. So
don't throw stones.
I'm on Dave's side for sure, but love Gaethje as a fighter, and even like him a lot as a guy. Like I don't think he's like a terrible human being.
No, I think he's a terrible American, but not a terrible human being. Yeah. Definitely turned his back on the country he swears he loves.
That was tough. It definitely is tough when people are like, when he's like, I wasn't like, there's no proof of that.
He's like, you can't find a picture of us together.
He literally specifically said, you cannot find a picture of us together. And then immediately a picture is replied to his comment. So
Just a silly boy, a silly move.
I think.
Justin
Well,
Gaethje.
and let's not understand. Like, I think sometimes we like, we obviously have like obviously there's a lot of bits going on, a lot of like tongue in cheek talk.
Yeah, I guess.
So people are not always like in on it, and sometimes I'm like, oh, like how can you be so stupid? And there's like, listen, this is one of those times where it's like,
that one
dude,
seems so obvious.
Dude, like obviously no one like. Well, it's tough because I think Paddy really did.
Oh, Paddy was serious.
So I think that kind of like misleads people because he genuinely meant it.
Yeah.
But Dave and Dan in that clip, like they were obviously joking.
They're
like,
in blonde wigs.
And I think, yeah, exactly. and I think anyone that's like watching or like saw those fights, it's pretty clear. Like, come on, man. Like there was some incredible fights. Like clearly that was not one of even the better fights of the night. And one could argue if you just said pure action,
might be
maybe the worst on the card.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being totally
no
honest.
Disrespect, but yeah, it was an anomaly of a card where we got 10 straight finishes. I don't think that ever happened. The record for most finishes ever on a card is 11. We were almost there. So definitely just a crazy whole event that happens after that. We did see Jared Gordon after the fight too, and there was the video that went out that Dave put out where he's like, "Where's Portnoy?" He's like, "I was gonna say suck it" after the fight. He was super cool. He was like super cordial to all of us and said hi to all of us and everything. And I guess that's it for the Paddy fight. Was there anything else that came off of it that's worth talking about as like a...
Well,
Dave saying Justin Gaethje's name on the rundown yesterday is worth you guys going and watching the rundown for. He threw 10 R's in there that don't belong in there.
Just Garchi.
He was like Justin Gaethje.
Honestly, the Gaethj is a weird.
Tough.
It's a strange combo. You don't rarely see that together.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I guess I think Gordon is a very like good guy, and I have zero ill will towards Jared Gordon. A very, very good guy.
From here on out,
like genuinely good. Like I think a genuinely like good person, and it's not like not clout chasing or like anything like that. Like, just like a nice guy, like good fighter.
He's calling for a rematch. I don't think he'll get it.
Yeah,
it's smart to do.
I doubt it, but hey, like you never know.
Shoot your shot for sure.
Because I think this puts Paddy in an interesting spot. And also, what I was going to say with Gordon, I was forgetting for a second, was that I almost think not getting the decision almost like helped him publicly.
Definitely.
Because I think if Paddy just runs away with this fight, say he knocks him out or submits him in the second round or something, I think Gordon just kind of like it's whatever.
He's just another guy.
Like now people I think it honestly almost helped him. And Paddy, I think this can go a couple different ways going forward. Listen, people, whether they like you or hate you, if they're like just the eyeballs are on you, they're going to tune in to watch you. Yep. So I think that almost spin zone could help Paddy long term. That I do believe like this definitely swung some people against him. I think that's just kind of like the truth,
no doubt.
From seeing the internet and all that stuff. But I think that could help long term.
It was this combined with the Ariel stuff.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. The other part too is, I don't know how he feels about this now. I'd be curious, kind of his take on it, like right this second. But I think his handling in the moment rubs some people the wrong way.
Him saying it wasn't even close.
Him saying it wasn't close in the cage and this and that. I think that rubs some people the wrong way. Where I'll bring up kind of a similar example, even though the fight action wise was much better. We'll talk the Sugar Yan fight, where Sugar and he has kind of been the one that was more cocky in general. Sugar, he likes to troll and say like he likes to say like how he never lost a Cheeto, blah blah blah. He was kind of very humble in the moment.
Yeah. And
I think people at least were able to like appreciate that.
Yeah.
That he was like, man, I like
seemed confused.
I was in a war. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I'll have to go back and watch the fight. And I think if Paddy had more of like that mentality, I think maybe people would have taken more kindly to that.
I will say,
I don't know if that's true or not.
When he said it wasn't even close, it felt like that specifically got booze.
And that's kind of how I felt when I watched it too. I was like, oh, like that. Because I thought I was surprised after that kind of fight, that he came at it that aggressive.
Yeah.
Because like it wasn't an entertaining fight. It could have went. A lot of people obviously thought he didn't win the fight in general. So I think just seeing all of that, it kind of was like, ooh, like I don't know how well that's gonna land. Or at least Sugar, I think people hated the decision then, but I think people were able to come back. I think his handling of it and being like, oh, like listen, and also it was just a really good fight.
Yeah.
Where I think even though a lot of people thought he lost, he still earned respect because they were like, yo, you just went toe to toe with maybe the best bantamweight in the world. So I think that part of it kind of was like that. I think just comparing those two situations and seeing the difference, I think you can kind of like point to, oh, like maybe that's where things went south for him, plus the aerial stuff during the week for sure.
And then we have some people in the chat, Antonio already saying Paddy should fight in London. That should be the next one. I'm not even sure he'll be able to fight in London. I don't know what the current status of his foot is, but he was saying in his post-fight presser afterwards, he fucked his foot up with a kick in the first round, and it had been pretty messed up throughout the fight. And even going into the third round, he was like, I'm glad that Jared wanted to coast and go against the fence, because I don't know if I would have been able to stand and trade with him on my foot.
Wow.
So I don't know if he'll be ready for March. We are starting to get that card coming together now.
Well, he also said he was taking, as they say, a holiday, a vacation.
Yep. He's getting married.
He's getting married, taking a vacation in January. So I don't think that puts him in a spot. I'm not sure when his wedding is, but I think it's April or May. So I'd imagine he's not going to fight right before that.
Yeah.
And also they're doing, I believe, 2 pay-per-view cards in March. The early one is in Vegas. I believe the later one, is the one in London one.
March 18th, I think.
Okay, so March 18th. I think the other one's maybe March 4th or something like that.
Yep.
But yeah, I would imagine, gun to my head, I'd imagine he's not fighting on the London card.
I don't think he will. I would imagine Molly will.
Molly, I would think so.
Molly will be ready. I think she's chomping
that timeline makes sense.
Yeah. And it'll be great. How can you do a London event without one of them, at least at this point?
For sure.
And the first fight we got for it, is it the first fight, the first official fight we got, other than Leon? We know.
Yeah, we always one half. Because now there's rumor with Usman might not be ready.
Yeah, people were saying maybe Leon will get that Masvidal fight he
wanted.
I title shot.
I said it in our group chat. I was like, even though, listen, I know I've been like the Masvidal guy on the show. I love Masvidal, regardless of some of the last year's antics. Even though like he is in no way how deserving of it.
Yeah.
Watching the world I like to watch the world burn.
Same.
So if he just somehow just gets this third title shot,
I'd love it.
After not winning a fight, yeah. It would be pretty funny.
Poor Bilal, though. You got to look at Bilal in your life.
Not funny for the sport, but just funny for the people that are gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
Yeah.
I can't how can he get another fight?
He
hasn't won a fight in X amount of years.
Yeah, just to watch the people that are reacting to like the video of me saying Paddy 130-27. Like the same people that reacted to that will react to that and be like, but what about Bilal? But the first fight is Vittori Dolidze.
Dolidze is my guy.
Which is an awesome fight.
Great fight. I think I said this to Jack Mack. We talked about some of the fights to make on Sunday. We were here for like NFL streams. And I was saying I was hoping they would give somebody a big Dolidze fight. And Vittori's about as big as I think he was going to get. Yeah, that's a great fight.
Absolutely.
I'm
London too, like right by Italy. I wonder if you'll get some Italian fans coming in for Vittori.
I would think so. I'm very, very curious the way that fight's going to be lined. Because
there's not a line out for it yet?
There might be. It literally just, I don't even know if it's like official yet.
Yeah.
It like just got announced literally within the last hour or so. So I haven't seen a line or anything yet. If that line is Dolidze plus like 160 or above, I will be gladly on Dolidze. Gladly. I might be regardless. I just think his grappling against Hermanto was so impressive. And he hits like a truck too. I mean, Vittori's a beast. Like, don't get me wrong. Vittori's a phenomenal fighter. But, yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Going off, I guess, quickly on that London card. And so you said Usman's really out. Colby could get that against Leon. That would make sense as well.
Yep.
Or even if they want to give it to Hamzat.
What do you think they would? I feel like Dana White might love the Hamzat Colby fight enough to not want to break that up, though.
See, I think so too. I would think so too. But I think if Usman is not ready for that, I think they might have to break it because it's like, who else do you get? Yeah. Unless they just gave him Masvidal.
Yeah.
But I almost don't know if Dana could Dana would have to do two things. Like he'd have to just go up there and just say like, yeah, like we get it. Like this is a fight that people want. It's a legit grudge match. Like,
do you give Bilal a Christmas bonus? Like, here you go. This is for you.
I would feel because Bilal, I feel bad for Bilal because people give Bilal a lot of shit. And he's been on such an incredible tear.
He gets as much shit as anyone.
He really does. Like you have to give him a ton of credit. Like he has just fought guy after guy after guy. And he just beat them all. From Wonder Boy, Luke, Sean. He knocks off Sean Brady, undefeated Sean Brady. Like the guy he's fought up in the division, he's fought down. Like he's in a spot where it's like you got to give him a big fight eventually. I mean, those are like big fights, but I'm talking like a big fight. Like give him a Colby or a Hamzat or like one of these guys. His problem is his fighting style is just not exciting.
No, it's not.
And that's his biggest detriment. And he's not a Colby where he's not like a He's not like a crowd pleaser or a
No.
crowd hate. Like people
He'll
go
throw the
nuts.
shades on.
Yeah,
but
like he just throws
that's
it.
about as
Yeah,
far as it gets.
it's remember the name. Like
Yeah.
we remember the name, but we don't remember the fights very well sometimes.
What else should we break down from UFC 282? Obviously, friend of the show, Billy Q, with a great win. There was the controversial split decision in the main event, where it was a split draw.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
And now Glover and Jamal are fighting.
Yeah, Jamal, friend of the pro. Hopefully, we can get him on before that fight.
That's a banger of a fight.
It's
you
a
feel
great
bad
fight.
for the two guys in the main event on Saturday because I didn't see the whole thing. I was backstage for the first part of the fight. It didn't feel as bad as Dana White made it out to be in the post-fight presser. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I wasn't like a super entertaining fight, but I didn't think it was.
Like
I didn't think it was like as bad as he made it out to be. Like it was like falling asleep.
He said he went to the back, and him and the matchmakers were so depressed that they like had to basically book the Jamal Hill versus Glover Teixeira fight to lift his spirits. He said. He said it like depressed him.
Well, the draw made it even worse.
Yeah, that's the worst, most frustrating outcome you could have in MMA.
Also, the two of them are just not the most like exciting. Like unless the Polish Power is knocking somebody out.
Yeah,
they're not the most like exciting fighters. I have a lot of respect for Anklev the way he responded in the fourth, fifth round, especially after his leg was getting shoot. I thought he was going to get TKO with leg kicks. There was a point early like he was smashing his leg. And they're both, especially Jan's like an older guy. I mean Glover, Jamal Hill, I think definitely made up for it. Also crazy that Jamal Hill had literally agreed to the fight before they talked to both them literally before the fighters were even out of the cage.
Yeah.
They basically had that fight like verbally agreed to before Rogan interviewed both of them.
Anthony
in the cage.
Smith is the one who was like pissed about it, obviously, because he had to fight with Jamal.
Do you see that Jamal reached out to him though?
No.
I thought that was very respectful, and he didn't need to do that.
Where he was like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I have to do
immediately
this."
After he like said he called him like or like messaged him like right after. I think he actually called him right after. Was like, "Yo, like they offered the fight, I'm taking it."
And of course, if you're Anthony Smith, it sucks for you, but you got to understand it from Jamal's perspective.
Jamal said his exact quote was like, he was like, "Oh shit, motherfucker, I would have taken it too. I would have left try too."
Exactly.
So
like
listen, he's an OG. You can't Smith gets it.
Yeah,
he's fought for a time.
Exactly.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he wins another fight or two. He could definitely get back.
Yeah,
he's still right there.
And I'm happy for Jamal because what a rise for him.
Crazy, he's the opening the favorite too.
Yeah. And he could win.
It's so funny. They told
knock him out.
They told him he was the favorite. He was pissed.
Jamal was?
Yeah.
Why?
I think he assumed he was an underdog, and they were like, "Oh, like you're actually minus 150," and he was like, "Nah, fuck that." Like, you could tell he just wanted to have that. Like, he had an awesome
that underdog energy.
He had an awesome clip on Ariel's show where he talked about like he kind of was like when you talk about how when he was working in the factory, he had guys in the factory that were like, "Yo, like you're never gonna like beat shit with this fighting shit. Like you wouldn't be in this factory with me if you were any good." Shit. And it was very passionate. He almost brought like tears of like, but there were like these almost like motivational like inner tears where he was like, he pretty much was like any person dreams of if you get to find out like how good I really am. And he was like on that night like, I'll finally get to answer that question for myself. And he literally said his exact quote was, "I'm more dangerous." Because like I'm gonna leave it all out there. Like this is who knows? Like this might be my one chance ever to prove like I'm the best lightweight in the world.
I really think he could knock him out.
He absolutely can. Yeah. Will he is the question. He absolutely is capable. He's phenomenal hands. He hits like a truck.
That's one of those fights too where I really, really do like both guys. So whoever wins, I'm gonna be happy for them and just upset for the loser.
The problem is my fear for Jamal. If the two things, the fight goes later, better for Glover.
Of course.
Second thing. Santos was able to wrestle him some where where Glover's much better than that. Yeah. So I am worried about a world where he puts Jamal on his back, is able to ground and pound.
Definitely could.
Chase submissions. That's definitely a thing that could happen as well. But I'm a huge Jamal Hill guy. I have a lot of respect for him. I'd also very unfortunate. He's had a lot of he's had some shit that's happened. He's had a couple family members pass the last
Jamal,
month or so. Like very sad. I think he's talking about it was his aunt and then his either his aunt, I think his aunt or his grandmother, and then also one of his cousins who's young.
Damn.
I think pretty in the last few months. So I guess they've been going through a lot of it. Yeah, no, I love Jamal Hill though. Love Glover. So that's that card is shaping out to be awesome.
Yep. That'll be January. Is that January?
Yeah, I think January 21st. I think.
Yeah, late January. Yeah.
Also, I think we got to touch on two more fights on that one with the kid.
The kid?
The Roses, the kid.
Oh,
I mean,
just the literal kid. Yeah, the
Roses
kid in high
Jr.
school.
was.
Yeah.
I mean, what a performance. I mean, I ate my words about the grown man straight fighting a guy like Perrin. I mean, listen, he ragdolled him. That was unbelievable. Yeah. Hats off to him. Shout out to him and his mom getting a minivan.
Yeah, the 50K.
Got the 50 G's for the minivan. I mean, the sky's the limit for him.
Seriously.
Like it really is.
Imagine him going into school on Monday too. How cool was he in homeroom? He was like, I just fucking whoop some ass. Like a teacher tries to tell him off. Like I would step up to the teacher, be like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you say homework?
He knocked out a grown man.
Yeah.
Or I see we submitted. Ragdolled him though. Ragdolled a grown ass man.
And then what was the other fight?
Got to talk about Topuria Mitchell.
Oh yeah. I mean,
listen, Topuria. I know there's a lot of the hand sanitizer boy talk, but
different weight classes. We won't fight him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That won't be a fight, but I mean, Topuria is special.
Crazy.
Like honestly, after watching that fight, and I think he even can be more technical. He even got wild because he knew pretty quickly how much better his hands were than Mitchell's, that he could take him out, and he was right. So I think there was even a few times where he got where he was swinging some wild punches. Chasing the
Mitchell
finish.
hit him a couple times
for sure.
He got the show.
He got the black guy.
Almost, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean his grappling, mixed with that striking is incredible.
And just his boxing, his pure boxing is crazy.
People incredible. He hits like a truck too.
Little clips on Twitter.
Big time power in his hands.
Crazy uppercut, crazy hooks.
Because Mitchell's got a chin.
Yeah.
And he just battered him. Mitchell, great grappler. And
Mitchell said he had the flu after that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either. Whenever fighters come out,
when he said he should have pulled out, I was like, "Come on, man!"
I know.
Like you got flu, no flu. You got
Holocaust vibes. If I was,
he's a grappler that got out grappled.
Yeah,
he got outstruck badly by the striker. He was incredibly impressive. I honestly be shocked if he doesn't fight for the belt one day.
He had a great line
at minimum.
Pre-fight when he was like, I'm going to elbow his head and make it as flat as he thinks the earth is, and then afterwards he was like, and I did it.
Dude, he's a unique guy. He's a special guy. A UFC fight in Spain would be pretty sick.
It'd be awesome. But who looked better than I thought they would? Darren Till.
Yeah, Till's a weird one because there was so much you could take away from it, like where he obviously looked so bad in the first round, and then he finally is able to get like that little bit ground and pound at the end of the first, where you're like, oh, like you know what, maybe Dricus just throw a million punches, which he did.
Yeah. And
I think that's what it took him almost the second round to kind of get his win back, where that's what Till started piecing him up on the feet. I thought Dricus was very impressive as well. Topuria to me was would be my most impressive of the night.
I would probably agree.
All considering competition and considering what he did to the level of competition, I
probably agree.
That was phenomenal. I really was I was wowed. And he was my favorite play on the card. And I still was wow, this guy, they need to give him.
I know you and Jack were so high on him, and I really thought Bryce Mitchell was going to win that fight.
Yeah, so the guys talking to the group about it now. See, Arnold Allen and Rang. I agree. He either needs to get Allen, Ortega. He called out Ortega. That would be a great
call out.
Ortega would be a great fight.
Status? Do we know?
I think he's getting better because right now we have Emmett Yair booked.
Yep.
So pretty much the only three options for him are Holloway or Ortega.
Even the Holloway fight would be fire at this point.
Dude, awesome. Awesome, because we've seen Holloway's takedown defense is incredible.
Yeah.
Because they're striking, the two of them striking would be incredible.
But I also worry, I don't want to see Holloway get knocked out by Topuria, man.
He's never been knocked out by anybody.
I know.
He's got you want to talk about a chin from the gods.
Yeah.
I think he could knock out Ortega.
Yeah. I
really think he could knock out almost anybody.
I think Topuria could knock out anyone in the division.
Almost anybody. But also it'd be awesome to see him and this obviously be if he ended up winning probably another fight or two, but I just now kind of get two short kings at
him and Volk.
Him and Volk.
Yeah. Volk,
I think right now might be a little more technical with the striking, a little more clean.
I think so too.
But I also, like I said before, I think part of that, part of Ilya getting a little. Now I don't want to call it sloppy because he's very technical, but I think he just got a little he got a little KO hungry. He smelled the blood.
Yeah. And
he was throwing the big leaping hook, really trying to get him out of there.
Yeah.
But he got it done. He was impressive, very impressive.
So do you want to move on to this weekend's card?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me pull it up on my phone here. It's the last UFC card of the year. Last
for a few weeks.
A while, yeah. Unfortunately, always feels horrible when they go on these long stretches of we're getting it every week, and then you get nothing. I feel like I'm going through withdrawals. All right, so obviously the main event, Cannonier versus Strickland. But we'll go as we normally do. We'll start at the prelims, kind of work our way up. The first fight of the night. What do we got here? What do we got? Oh, there's a lot of fights on this card. Journey Newson versus Sergey Morozov in the bantamweight division.
Yeah, Morozov was a big favorite, and rightfully so. I like Morozov. Newsom, he looked good in his last fight, but who did he fight? He fought somebody who did he fight his last? It was somebody who was like not very good.
Fernie Garcia.
That's who it was. He was contender series
274.
Contender series guy who I wasn't crazy about. I remember I bet on Newsom. Newsom was like a small favorite, and he won. He looked pretty good. Yeah, I like Morozov here. The line's big, but I think he's like parlay piece play.
Okay.
I trust him enough that way.
In the flyweight division, right afterwards, Manel Cape versus David Dvorak. Is that Cape or Cape?
I can go either way. It's tough. I feel like I go back and forth on it. Some of these names, even when it's KAP, it's tough.
I know. Names, I'll never be good at names in MMA. We need a name guy on the show almost. Like Lee's pretty good at it, actually.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Yeah,
we need an Anik.
We need someone that just knows the pronunciations and has that thing in their brain that has like the memory. Because I could watch a guy fight 15 times and not know what his name is.
No. Well, also because announcers call it different things.
Yeah. Like Bisping will say
Bisping
something
will say
other
one
than
thing.
Anik.
Anik is always the right one.
Always.
But
Anik will always have the correct pronunciation. Because what Anik does is he has all of the fighters record of saying their name for him.
Yeah, this is a tough one because there's part of me that wants to take a shot at Dvorak plus 200, but I mean, this is gonna be a fight where they stand and strike for the most part. And I just think Cobb is better. Like he hits harder. Like I think if somebody lands a knockout, it's way more likely to be him. Mm-hmm. So probably not a play for me. I would pick Cobb, like picking the fight. I just think he has more ways to win. But Dvorak's sneaky. I mean, he's 20-4 for a reason. The guy's a winner. But I just think like strength-wise, striking-wise, I think Cobb has the edge here.
The next fight, a welterweight battle between, see what I did there? Between Brian Battle and Renat. Oh my God, this name. Fakhretdinov?
Good enough. Gotta be good enough.
That was pretty good. Brian Battle seems to have the advantage everywhere in this fight. In terms of stats, in terms of tail of the tape, what's the odds? Do you have that?
Battle's plus like 125. Renat's minus like 150.
The younger guy, the taller guy, longer reach.
Yeah, I like Battle, and I think what I've really liked about Battle is every time we've seen him, I feel like he looks better and better.
Yep.
Where Renat, I feel like this is big. I feel like Renat is probably gonna have to wrestle because I think Battle's gonna be a better striker here. I do. I mean, that head kick knockout he had over Soto in the last fight was one of the better knockouts of the year. That was
definitely
an incredible fight.
Well, we should
incredible finish.
Maybe next week we'll do a knockouts of the year show.
We should do when there's no card. Yeah, we should give our personal awards.
Yeah, either next
week come back
or like
fight.
After,
we'll give all those awards.
Yeah, we'll do something like that.
Yeah, I like Battle here as a dog. Like I said, I think he just keeps improving. I think he's a guy who has more ways to finish. Not that his striking is bad. His striking actually is pretty good, but his wrestling could definitely come into play here, which is why partly, like, I see why he's the favorite. I understand because probably that wrestling upside probably gives him the edge.
Yeah, someone just said I'm not betting against a Russian wrestler. I get you.
No, yeah, I definitely don't blame him at all. He was actually the guy, if you remember, he knocked out Sean Spicely.
Yeah,
looking for a fight, and that's how he got to the UFC.
Yep.
I think he's 2-0 in the UFC. I'm pretty sure. Renat. But yeah, I like Battle here as a dog. Definitely take a shot at Battle.
In the lightweight division, Rafa Garcia versus Mahashete. I'm not even going to try the first name. Hayasar? I guess I did try.
This one's so tough.
I don't have any read on this one.
So Machete, however you say Machete, however you say his name.
He just has one fight in the UFC, right?
He was the guy who, if you remember, I bet on him. He was plus like 500 contender series because no one even had tape on him. They never even like seen him.
Oh,
and he won. He won a decision against like a pretty good.
I don't remember his contender series. I remember the Steve Garcia.
It was a good three round stand up fight where I thought clearly won, but like solid, like competitive fight. And then he fought Steve Garcia, knocked him out
in the first round.
And I bet against him, and I swore I would never do it again.
And so you can on this fight.
And I'm sitting here kind of wanting to bet Rafa.
No, you can't.
But I don't think I can. I want to. he's someone who I think this is where I think the wrestling's gonna be a factor. That's why I'm speaking honestly, I like Rafa. I think this is where his wrestling's gonna be a thing.
All right, fair enough.
But he also he's just taller, but he's not much longer.
If he wins again, though, you really can't bet against him.
I almost might not even bet either. Just,
just stay away from
it. I think there's just something about Machete. I think he's just got a little something there. I think he's just kind of a winner, and I think people just don't. I think because all we saw like in that it was a beautiful like step back like check, and just like a straight right and just put it right on Garcia's chin and just fucking folded him.
The next one, Saeed versus Saeed. Saeed Nurmagomedov.
This could be fight of the night.
Saeed Yukub Kakramanov.
Yep.
Is that fair?
He was incredibly impressive his last fight. He fought what's his name? Ronnie Lawrence.
That's right.
He was like a decorated wrestler. I remember he was the guy who like Dana coming out of Contender Series was saying like Ronnie's special.
Nurmagomedov's on a streak too.
Yeah. And Kakramanov, I mean, he just ragdolled Ronnie Lawrence. Then Ronnie Lawrence came out after the fight and said he had some like health issues he was dealing with that he took the fight anyway, which maybe played a factor, who knows, but he looked really good. Saeed's interesting because he's a Nurmagomedov, but he's really like he's a striker.
Different. Yeah, he's
really
different.
more he's his true like game is striking. Like he does have some, but his takedown defense is very when you're winning Nurmagomedovs, takedown defense can be pretty good.
Yeah.
I lean I was going to say Saeed. They're both big.
Yeah, Nurmagomedov.
I lean Nurmagomedov. It's pretty much a pick 'em fight. You answer with the guys that don't bet against Russians this round. I'm not betting against the true Russian here.
In the middleweight division, Julian Marquez versus Deron Wynn. This is odds on this one. I feel like Marquez should be a big favorite.
He's minus like 170, 175.
Okay. I do think he's going to win this fight pretty
do
handily.
Too. I know Jack Mack likes Wynn.
Really?
He likes the wrestling.
Huh.
And I feel like Wynn's been one of those guys for me. Like I bet him as a dog and he just like doesn't win.
No.
Like Phil Hawes.
I was going to say, didn't you bet him against Hawes?
I did.
Yeah.
And Phil Hawes beat the brakes off him. Like it was never close. Phil Hawes crushed him. Yeah, I like Marquez here too. Marquez is someone who I bet against him as a dog and I've won before. And then I bet his last fight I bet against him and RoboCop like murdered him.
Yep.
Even though he was tough as hell, he took some big shots. So finally he got blasted with one that just put him out. But I like Marquez here.
I like this next fight too. Next fight is Semi the Jedi versus Jake Matthews.
This is where now Jake Matthews is finally getting almost. Now I'm afraid he's almost getting too much respect, and I like Matthews. If Matthews looked how he looked against Fiallo,
yeah,
he looked incredible.
It was like a flawless performance.
Incredible. But Semmelsberger's a banger.
Yeah, and he's also like he's not like an easy guy to finish and put out. Like,
no, he's got a chin.
Yeah,
like he's a very tough.
I
dude.
like Semi the Jedi.
Do you?
I don't know if I love him in this fight. I like him as a fighter.
For me, is the line has gotten wide where, like Matthew, it's just tough for me when you were getting Matthews against Fiallo as a dog.
Yeah,
and now you're getting him against Semmelsberger as a minus 270 favorite.
That's steep.
I think for me, I think
Semi's a good bet there. Actually.
Listen, I think Matthews wins the fight. I'm not confident enough to bet minus 270 on a straight bet.
Yeah.
That is pricey to me.
Now, if it was like him via decision or something.
Yes, that I don't mind Matthews by decision. This is another one that I think could definitely be fighting that as well.
Yeah. Banger.
Or even this is one of those for me. Like if this was minus like 200.
I gotta be honest. I feel like they should flip this, and the prelim main event is Cheyenne Buys and Corey McKenna. I feel like this is like a prelim main event for you.
It's a great fight. Really good fight.
And no disrespect to Corey McKenna and Buys. That's a fine fight.
Antonio said Fiallo looked way off, though. The fight was in Singapore. But I mean, Matthews isn't the real, like Matthews from Australia. Fiallo's from Portugal, I think. I know he trains in Florida. He trains in like Miami, like South Florida. I don't know. Like, I mean, Matthews just like really impressive, though, regardless of how Fiallo. I know he had fought a bunch. He was trying to do the thing where he was fighting on every pay-per-view card.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then he just got knocked out that one. So obviously he wasn't, that streak was over. You know, I like Matthews here.
Do you have a read on the next fight? Buys and McKenna?
I'd probably give me the dog. I was in these women's fights, like give me the dog here. She's got good takedowns, McKenna. I think if she's definitely very winnable fight.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much her path to victory here. Plus 160. I'd take a shot at McKenna.
And then the main card we're up to. In the first fight, we've got Oleksiejczuk versus Cody Brundage. Very good fight.
Really good fight.
I like Cody Brundage here. What about you?
I do too. I think this line's wide. So I think this is a line. I think this is a fight where you're gonna know kind of quickly like what happens, like what's gonna happen. Where I think this is a straight like if Brundage gets takedowns, like it could be over fast.
Yep.
If Michael lands early, it could be over fast. But at the same time, we watched Brundage eat some big shots from Dulce, who I know Dulce's not great. He just got cut literally like yesterday.
Oh, did he?
He got removed. But like Dulce hits like a truck. He hits hard as fuck.
Yeah.
And Brundage was able to eat those shots and still pull off that guillotine. Like I don't see why he couldn't take down Michelle here. I'm not even trying to pronounce his last name's like Oleksiejczuk.
Yeah.
I've seen him fight a bunch. Even in the loss to Jacoby, I thought he fared well.
Mm-hmm.
In the striking. Jacoby's much bigger. Jacoby definitely won the fight, but I thought Michelle was impressive. I just think the line's too wide. I think Brundage is a winner. I think what he's shown me.
Yeah.
I've been on Brundage's last like 3-4 fights. Whatever, like I mean, I think 3. He's been a dog. He's won all of them. He's just a winner. Like everyone thought he was going to knock down that Gore fight, and then he knocks out Gore.
Yeah.
This is actually one for me. I wouldn't hate if you want to bet just like a straight like fight ends first round.
Yeah.
At plus money. I know the under 1.5 rounds it's like a favorite to go like under 1.5 rounds. They think there's going to be a quick fight.
What are the odds on the next fight? Drew Dober and Bobby Green.
So it's Dober minus like 165, 160,
Really?
which that makes sense.
Makes sense, but I actually think Bobby Green like has a decent shot to win that fight.
Yeah, no, I think he has a chance. I think so the problem Dober's has a chin of steel.
Yeah.
Hard to get out of there.
Crimson chin.
I think if someone got finished, it would be more likely to be Green got finished. Which Green's a tough guy too. Like nothing against. I think Green's.
I can see Green decision right there though.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna bet Green, like bet decision. I personally
good fights.
I like Dober.
Both really good. This has fight at night potential as well. I think.
Sure. Yeah, I personally like Dober. In the last one, I think Brundage plus 230 just a cap is, I think a solid bet.
Yeah.
If it goes up anymore, like if he was able to get to like 240, 250, like
you're on it.
Like,
yeah.
I'm on it regardless. But Brundage, like I might put even more on if it kept going up.
In the featherweight division, we've got Alex Caceres versus Julian Erosa.
Another good fight, man.
Yeah, this is a sneaky good card.
Good matchups on the card.
Yeah,
it's a good matchup.
Good one to end the year.
I like this matchmaking.
Probably lean Julian Erosa here.
I do too, and I'm actually surprised. I thought the fight would be a little closer. Otherwise, Erosa's minus 175, so not like crazy,
yeah.
but Caceres is sneaky though.
No, he is.
With his submissions, very sneaky.
He's one of those guys who, like, every now and then you forget about him, and then he faces a prospect, and then he dominates the prospect, like Chase Hooper, like he did. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, this guy's the real deal.
He just pieced up Hooper with just no strike. With no striking.
He's been in the UFC for what feels like 20 years at this point.
Forever.
Yeah.
He was on Ultimate Fighter
a long time ago.
Erosa too. This is because I like Erosa here, but because if you're gonna take Caceres, I personally think you take Caceres sub.
Yeah.
Because I think if he's gonna get it done, I think that's a very sneaky way. If he just snatches the bet, takes the back, he's very good in that position.
He's a weird fighter. Hard to prepare for, I assume.
For sure.
In the flyweight division, Amir Albazi versus Albazi.
Yeah.
Albazi versus Alessandro Costa. Alessandro Costa contender series guy?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. This is his UFC debut.
Albazi, like easy. I think Albazi absolutely runs through him. Yeah, I just don't like Albazi by finish is minus like 130. And I don't even think that's like crazy.
Yeah.
He's a big submission artist. By sub, he's like plus 130. I honestly think that's a decent bet.
Yeah.
I know it's plus 130 for a submission, but Albazi, I think he's a monster. I think he's a potential dark horse at flyweight. He keeps getting better and better.
Paddy beat Juicy J. What does that mean? They never fought.
I actually think they might have.
Did they fight in Cage Warriors?
They might have like way back. I actually think. Yeah, I think he's right.
Did they really?
No, I'm pretty sure he's right. I actually think he did. So in my lay minus 500, I wouldn't lay 5. I would put him in a parlay though. I would absolutely put. I'd make Albazi a parlay piece. I don't think I'd lay like it would be very rare circumstance for me to like lay my minus 450, 500 with someone straight up, but parlay piece, absolutely.
All right, the next fight, the co-main event, another banger. Arman Tarsukian versus Ismagulov.
Sarukian.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Sarukian.
Banger, but yeah.
Because even Ismagulov, I honestly
For the
thought
Cage Warriors Championship. Shit, he did. Unreal.
I actually even Ismagulov, like I honestly thought he lost that fight to Guram.
I don't remember
Kutzladze.
as well as you
Because I remember
do.
I bet Kutzladze plus like 140. He's the one he beat Fazeev.
Yes.
And
yes.
I think Guram, he trains with Hamzat and them. I think Guram is very, very good. So I don't make this like a super like a slouch against Ismagulov. I just think he won that. I thought Guram won that fight. I thought it was very close. I think Sarukian's going to be able to get takedowns here. I think that's going to be the difference.
Yeah.
I like Sarukian. I think Sarukian might have one of the better. He was talking about it this week. I think he'd have one of the better chances of anybody to beat Islam if somebody could.
Really?
So he came in. That's one of his only losses, Sarukian. That's been basically the person that's given Islam the most comp in his career besides when he got knocked out that one time, which was kind of like a fluke.
True. At this point, seems
I like
for sure.
Sarukian's a tough dude, man. Really tough dude.
And then what are the odds on the main event? Jared Cannonier versus Sean
Coin
Strickland.
flip.
Is it?
I like Cannonier.
Oh, I kind of like Strickland.
So I in a 5-rounder, I just think Cannonier has more like I think he finds the shot. I think he finds the big one.
He may.
I think Strickland will, if it doesn't end early, I think Strickland will have stretches where he looks good. And the number balloons up, but I think Cannonier will find that shot. I thought he looked really impressive against Brunson. Even against Izzy, I didn't think he was like looked horrible.
Yeah,
Izzy's just a different animal to fight.
Yeah, I feel like Strickland presents like that weird Sean Strickland unpredictability though, where it's like he's bringing the X factor in this
For
fight,
sure,
and he's got 5 rounds to bring it, and I think that maybe it doesn't favor him, but I think he's got that. At any moment, Sean Strickland could do something crazy and finish the fight.
See, but I don't think it's like impossible for him to finish. But I don't know. I just think if you told me right now somebody's getting knocked out, I'm like, oh
well, yeah.
I'm like, oh, like Cannonier probably knocked him out.
After the last one too, it's like I don't know if his chin is damaged. Strickland.
Yeah. I just think Cannonier is damn good. And I think the problem with Strickland is his strength can almost be like his weakness, where he'll
get reckless.
He's so willing to like stand and trade that when you fight dudes like, I'm not saying Cannonier's Pereira, but when you fight dudes that hit like a fucking Mack truck, you'll get knocked out sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think Cannon and Strickland, he hits hard. He's not like he's never been known to be like a one punch knockout guy.
No,
that's not really his thing. He's a volume guy.
Yeah. And
I just think Cannonier over 5 rounds finds it.
He may.
I'll call like 3rd round. I'll say Cannonier 3rd round.
Sean is also a guy who will go right into those punches, trying to be the tough guy.
That's what I'm saying. Where I think that can be like a good thing for him sometimes, but also can be like that's how you get knocked out as well.
No, I do agree with that. That's the card though. That's the UFC 282 reaction, the Paddy the Batty, Justin Gaethje, Dave, all that reaction, and then the preview. I don't know if we'll be back next week to recap this and do a little award show. If we'll be back the week after. If we're not back next week, happy holidays to everyone and all that. But I think we'll be back. I'll be here earlier in the week.
I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think that's when the office is open.
Cool. All right. Cool. We'll see you boys next week. And
real quick, I'll just say this because I know this you guys a few times has ended. You watched the Stotts Sabatello at all?
I did not. No.
So Sabatello did much better than I thought he was going to with the wrestling. He was able to wrestle him and hold him down, keep him down for significant stretches. But he did 0 damage ever at any point. Mm-hmm. I thought so 2 of the cards of the 3 were Stotts 3-2. I thought when I left, I thought Stotts won 3-2. That was my honest call. One of the judges
Doug Crosby,
who was one of the Paddy judges now people know about, was had it 50-45 Sabatello, which is one of the worst scorecards I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Just can't fathom how you gave him all 5. There was 2 rounds that it was clear Stotts, no brainer. So
tough for Sabatello, a little bit tough for his brand in terms of doing no damage.
But that's kind of
every fight.
He never really does a ton of damage.
But eventually, people are going to catch on to him saying, "I'm going to put 30 stitches in your face," and be like, "Bro, you've never put a stitch in anyone's face."
Yeah, I was surprised. Also, shout out to
He kind of came at Paddy too a little bit.
Yeah. Also, I'll say shout out to Nichols. He was the guy who knocked out Pat Downey, who he's like this big like Iowa wrestler, was minus like 2,000 and got slept.
Yep. You guys were texting in the group chat
dude.
it was like holy
wild.
shit. Yeah.
He, like, honestly, he had like a Lee like mullet.
Oh really?
And he went in there like the guy he clipped him early, landed like a big hook that like made him do like not a full drop, but one of those where your butt like,
touches, sit down a little bit,
butt,
like
touches,
pop up.
He just sat him down, his butt touches ankles.
Yeah,
and
almost like Khabib and McGregor. Not to bring up old wounds,
worse than that.
Oof.
Like really hurt him. Like definitely worse than McGregor. Wasn't nearly as hurt.
No. He did that thing though where he just he stayed on his feet the whole time.
No, he did a straight like his butt hit the like bounce.
Okay, yeah.
And then he kind of like popped up. He like late, and then he got up, and then he just landed a hook, or no, not a hook, an uppercut that just like blasts him.
Sounded like a good card for Bellator though, to be honest.
It was a good
From
card.
Like just following along on Twitter, people were tweeting that it was good.
No, it was a good card because then even also shout out Patchy Mix.
Yeah,
really good performance over another Nurmagomedov.
Yeah,
or I forget how you say that guy's name. There's so many of them. I don't think he's not Nurmagomedov, but he's Magomedov. I think it's just Magomedov. And he was good as well. But yeah, Patchy Mix ran through him, very impressive. So Patchy Mix and Rafion Stotts is the fight.
Yeah,
that should be a great fight.
There we go. All right, thank you to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time.